man.
Episode 34, Between Two Wheels podcast, cycling news, commentary, analysis, and interviews from Northern California. This episode is brought to you by Health IQ, an insurance company that helps health-conscious people get special life insurance rates. Go to healthiq.com/BTW to support the show and learn more. As always, subscribe and share the show via iTunes, Stitcher, Podbeam, and whatever other service you may use. And for this week, we're also going to be on our Between Two Wheels podcast YouTube channel as well. So looking good, looking pretty.
Okay.
Interact with us on our Facebook page, Between Two Wheels, and the links to the show notes will be included. Welcome. This is Tyler Janke, the Between Two Wheels podcast. I'm one of your hosts. We have Chris Flower. Chris,
hey.
Welcome. How you doing?
Doing well. Hope you're doing well as well.
I'm doing well. Thank you. I
Good.
appreciate the deep concern. Kurt Mills, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and I know you're not doing well because I care, and I'm glad that you're still doing the show today.
Well, I'm glad you're doing the show today too.
Thanks.
And then we've started doing this where we've had some people come in. Well, I say in studio, but this is my office. And
It's a studio.
And talk to. Well, we set it up like one, and talk to us about their team for the year. And we've done Oak Valley Community Bank, Thirsty Bear, and we're going to continue to do more. But this time we got in Andrew Shimizu, Mike's Bikes team. Welcome.
How's it going?
Good.
Great.
Thanks for coming by.
Oh, yeah.
And if people want to learn a little bit more about you personally, they can check out podcast episode 4, where we sat down in Panera Bread, had a nice little.
Am I your first repeat? Two-peat?
We've had a few repeats. It sounds like you need to get caught up on the show.
Yeah. My parents, they love it, so I just ask them.
The parents, okay.
Yeah,
well, that's good. Are you serious?
Good.
Do we need to tone down anything?
I don't
Okay.
Not for Bob, no.
Well, okay.
Turn it up.
But thanks for coming in. Once again, you're heading out again with Mike's Bikes for the year 2018.
Yes.
And give us the exact name. I know that's important because you guys have additional sponsors. What is your full name? And maybe we're quizzing you here. So
I should brought my kit. So we're Team Mike's Bikes, presented by Equator Coffees and Teas. Keeping same sponsors as last year. Equator has been a huge sponsor for us in terms of just being the other title sponsor from Mike's Bikes, and then we also added some new sponsors on. The returning sponsors we have is obviously Capo for our kits, and then Goo Energy Labs for nutrition, Toyota. They've been helping us out a lot with getting us to the races. And then Bay Area Bicycle Law is another sponsor we've taken on this year. So, so that was the scatter shot of our team name.
And now I know with Mike's you get some specialized or, bikes as well.
Sure.
Probably through the shop. What are you riding this year? And have you got your new rig?
I have, and I just took it out today, and it's pretty sweet. It's the new Tarmac Pro Di2, and that thing flies. That thing is, yeah. So if anyone needs to go faster, maybe they should ride their bike. But this is also a great way to go faster, too.
How much faster can you go, Chris, on his new bike?
I would say at least 10 watts.
10 watts.
10 watts.
Well, that's the standard, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Wasn't it like 5 minutes over 40K?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's 10 watts.
Yeah, sure.
Thereabouts.
If you keep doing that, then you're negative time. Or
Right.
Yeah, Chris was actually saying at some point he just needs to keep buying the new bike and he's going to be fast without training.
It's the easy way, I think.
Yeah. No slight to your sponsors. That's pretty incredible deal. I mean, obviously getting a bike like you did last year, so you had to hang the Franken bike up for a few days. And
the old trusty or rusty CAD 10. He's hanging up in the garage.
So you driving a Toyota as well?
I am driving a Toyota as well, Tyler. Thank you. Yes,
but not because of your sponsor, just because you're loyal to that.
Sure, or because I can't get rid of it. I don't know. Either way,
Hates America.
Yeah, it's America. Yeah,
They've made a lot of them yours.
So does Toyota give you guys a team car for the year for traveling to races?
Yeah, last year we had the Sienna, which is a pretty sweet car for packing down a bunch of bikes, and this year I think we're getting the RAV4.
Cool.
So they're. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if you looking for a car that can hold 6 or 7 cyclists with bikes and gear and can deal with blood stains and all the other smells.
Did you also
Totally
get like the new Specialized shoes?
We did get the new Specialized shoes.
And did you get
and the
helmets?
helmet. Yeah, and the new Evade too.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think about the shoes?
They look sweet. I haven't actually tried them yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna get them fit tomorrow, but
Nice.
they look real sweet. I like them. The boas look a lot more sturdy. A lot more
milled aluminum. Or
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but the Evade 2, actually, I tried on and I wore it, and that is significantly cooler, literally cooler than the last one. So, I mean, it was a pretty chilly day out today, but the biggest thing about the previous Evade that was, just overheat, but this one's got more cooling vents.
I think you can put sunglasses into this one as well,
You
which is a
can,
huge benefit.
Yeah, no, you can. Yeah, how much are you getting for this, by the way? Like for the specialized sponsorship? I'm sorry.
We're not.
Okay. Oh,
I think it's 10
okay.
watts still.
Okay.
10 watts. They give it to me in watts.
They give it to you? Okay, I didn't know. Yeah,
It's a gift card.
How they plug that,
And you
but either way. Yeah.
Put it into your e-bike.
Put it on the Di2.
We're all
Into your
about
veins?
we're all about just pushing whatever you've got going, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, if Specialized wants to kick down something, you go
It's
out
like
to
your sponsor
Roseville
me tape.
Cyclery, one of the specialized authorized specialized dealers.
No.
We're always looking for sponsors if people want to do that. But other than that, we're just
We're
kind
not
of pour
desperate.
ourselves out to the best. So it's no big deal. You talked about getting your shoes fit. Do you go and you kind of get a custom bed on those, or what do you do?
Well, no, I don't think for these ones you can mold them, but I may be wrong. But I don't think so. But just in terms of getting like the cleat set up and just getting a full
Okay.
bike fit, yeah. So
Who does that for you?
there's go through the shop, and Alyssa, the gal, she works at the Folsom and Sacramento shop. She does a really good job. Fits. I mean, like I still have the videos from last year of her just changing my position, and I didn't have any issues, knee issues or anything like that the whole year. So it's pretty
did you
good.
change it significantly from before without the fit?
I mean, I guess from a previous bike because it was different geometry and stuff. But yeah, I definitely felt a lot more like stability and just just feeling solid on the bike instead of feeling like a wet noodle. But,
Yeah.
it's
Wet
good.
noodles never good,
No,
No.
that's not a good feeling.
especially at our age.
They made
Did
the
you
pill
use
for
the
that.
Did you use the Specialized shoes last year's the BOA S-Works ones?
I did, yeah,
Okay.
last year. They were pretty rad.
He had the black ones.
Oh,
black.
okay.
Well, yeah.
His were so dirty that they might as well have been black. So I can't wait to see these white shoes.
Are you using the white ones?
They're white this
Okay.
year. Yeah, thank you, Curt.
And the reason why we're kind of asking because we've been discussing getting those.
Oh, really?
And we just got some of the helmets.
Yeah.
So I'm just very curious.
How do you like the helmet?
Well, no, when I purchase when it comes in.
okay.
They've been ordered at this
They've
point.
been ordered. Yeah.
We're
You're doing real great in the
We're
sponsorship,
really-
by the way.
we're high on the list. Apparently, you're a little higher.
No.
I think a lot of us went with the Evade 2. So
Yeah.
it'll be good to compare notes there.
That's a good one.
I did not. Now I'm almost disappointed. I don't like my head tends to get warm in the summer, so I tried to stay away from it. Maybe it was a invalid concern of mine. So it'll be interesting to know. So you guys, we have not seen you at any of the races yet. Maybe a guy or two hanging around here, but when is your team going to debut in Northern California? Or are they going to?
I don't know. Well, they have been. They've been doing some of the. They just haven't done. Let's see. We had a guy out at Folsom who was racing out there, and then let's see. They've been doing like the Grasshopper series and stuff. So those
Saw
aren't
Cameron,
official.
wasn't it?
So yeah, no, he got second to
second
Ted
to
King.
Ted King, yeah.
So we have some guys gonna come out at Cherry Pie this Monday. So I'll be out there. I think Garrett Hankins and then Cameron and then Andy Gosling will be out there.
Didn't you win a pie there one year?
I won a pie there. Yeah, I got second one. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like Cat 4.
Yeah, that was I think our first year
Yeah, that was fun.
as data-driven athlete.
Yeah,
And so we have a nice picture with you out there.
yeah.
So your team's going to show up there. What's kind of your team goals for? Well, are they going to do much Northern California, or is it you going to be spreading yourself out throughout the nation this year?
I think the race calendar will be pretty similar to last year, where we have we do like a lot of local NorCal races, but focusing on the bigger PRT Pro Road Tour races, Redlands, Cascade. They'll be doing the Elite Nationals this year is in Maryland, Hagerstown, Maryland, I believe. So going out there for that. And then they've also wanted to incorporate some more of the gravel, more adventure series, Grasshoppers, and just some more of those sort of like off-road races where they're not officially sanctioned, but they, that seems like where a lot of the guys have been racing for a number of years. Racing at a office park crit doesn't seem to appeal to them as much as doing something like this, where it's still a challenge and it's good for the team, stuff like that too.
Is that being pushed by the team for you to be doing those races?
No, I mean they're not pushing. I mean, it's opened for us as a team. So I had a lot of guys out at the at the previous Grasshoppers, which was cool. I wish I could have gone to those, and then I feel like that would have been a cool experience, doing those type of races. So it's still a team event, but they still. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not going.
It's not the Mike Spikes gravel grinder team.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just. I mean, there's still guys who are really serious about racing, the big races, and then just want to add in some of these ones too. But they're still going to be coming out. Still
are you guys doing the Grasshoppers on the tarmac? Is that a legitimate option for you?
We had one guy do the old Kaz Grasshopper on his Vias.
Wow.
Yeah, Craig Fellers, he did on the Vias. I don't think it's recommended. But I don't know. I mean, actually, I don't really know because some of them are just like I know the one the other weekend was like all road, the Chileno Valley one, and then I know some. So I haven't done any of them, so maybe I shouldn't be talking about it. But I know some of them are road and gravel mixed, so that'll probably be done on tarmac. Tarmac's pretty capable of going off road, and it has a clearance for a lot bigger tires and stuff this year, so
that's cool. Yeah, I think all the pictures I've seen for those events are guys running through creeks or something.
Yeah, something like that, something dramatic. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun to watch you do. Is that no?
He's prepping for it. I can see his leg hair. I can see he's growing everything out right now.
I shaved one part of my leg.
What?
Why did I Well, I shaved and then my electric razor broke like halfway through, and then so I didn't want to continue. And then now I just have like this one patch of shaven leg.
Actually,
and then it's just like this is
it's a good look.
I know we're a podcast here, but
I don't even want to know.
He's showing us his leg.
No,
he's ready for the wind tunnel testing.
I don't know. I think I just got lazy.
All right, so
that stays in this room.
A question about your team calendar. Are you guys going to do anything like Tulsa Tough or America's Dairyland?
Yeah, I think so. We had some guys go to Tulsa last year. And I think that could be an interest this year. Yeah. Dairylands is hard because that's a longer series of crits, and we don't have as many crit heavy guys. I think definitely Tulsa will be one they want to try to go out to again this year. I mean, that looks like a fun. I want to try to go out to there, but I think we got Chico coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Are you regged for Chico? Are you doing that?
Regged, sure.
Well, I mean, are you planning on doing that?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing it. Yeah, and then maybe Madera or something else like that. But then and then San Dimas maybe, but Redlands for sure, and then Cascade and Redlands are within a month of each other this year.
Yeah,
because they moved Cascade to the first week of June.
That is correct. Yeah, it looks like new routes too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're going to do a circuit race out in that Brasada Ranch area where we stayed a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That should be new courses.
Yeah.
I listened to an interview with the organizer earlier this week, and
Bart Bowen.
Yeah. He said he's trying to be more engaging with the local community. So a lot of the races, I think, will probably dive in and out of the town. So it should be a completely different feel this go around.
That's cool.
Yeah. Hopefully, that'll be a fun experience.
Yeah, that are you guys doing the USA Crit Series? I don't know if you saw where they're posting out $100,000 for the winner of the series or something like that.
So I don't know. We haven't talked a whole lot about that yet. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the team is definitely focused on the bigger stage races. I think we would try to make it out to some of those crits if we could, and I definitely know there's a few guys that want to, and it's just a matter of getting some of these other sort of not crit riders to ride a crit.
How would you categorize your team? I mean, because there's some of them out there you'd think that they're crit-oriented teams, and I don't see your team as that. But you have Garrett and some others that obviously do well. So what's stage racing team?
I would definitely say strong stage racing to road racing team. We got all the guys on the team can get over climbs. Even our sprinters, they can still ride over climbs and get to a finish. So they're not just pure flat crit sprinters. And with that being said, we have a lot of, I would say, more climbers on the team now than they used to a few years ago. But definitely a stage race, more stage race oriented team. Yeah.
So are you on the short list for Redlands? Do you know? Have you guys talked about any of this? Long list, short
Yeah.
list. Why are you shaking your head?
Because he's our guest.
I know.
Well, he went.
Give
and
me
did
that beer back.
He went and did Redlands last year, and
Right.
yeah, he did.
No,
well.
actually, to be honest, I
don't know if that's your focus.
No, I would love to go to Redlands again too, but I'm totally forgetting that Gila is another option too.
Oh, yeah.
And last year it was not a debate, but it was the choice between Gila and Redlands, and that'll be another thing to decide if they want to do Redlands this year or go to Gila, because I think it'd be too. They're pretty close together in bigger travel races, but that one hasn't been ironed out yet. So I don't want to speak for the team, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
So your team makes a decision. You don't split squads for those. You actually just take one squad and decide one or the other.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's like 9 guys, right?
So-
9 people go.
Without speaking for the team, which one would you rather do?
We're not doing this. I think. Anyways, I think it's like 9. I think it's like 9
It's
guys.
getting hostile in here.
I think it's like 9 guys can go, and so you figure we have some probably like 12 guys or whatever, and some of them can't take off work for that long, or they have real jobs or whatever, or some of them maybe they have to choose one, so they'll do Cascade over Redlands. And so for us last year, we were able, everyone who wanted to go could go, and then we even brought on a guest rider or 2. Yeah, so I think it's in terms of I don't want to say there's no competition, because it makes it sounds like it's easy to get up there. You definitely have to work hard to get to do these races, but I think the team is pretty supportive of people who want to race the races they want to.
And it seems like there might be some self-selection. I mean, if you're not a good climber, and you guys decide to do Gila as an example,
right?
You're probably not going to want to even. I don't know.
Sure.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know your team. Well, I guess that's why we're here, trying to figure out your team.
Sure. Me too.
But it sounds like your roster size won't be able to handle sending a full team to one race and then a full team to another race a week later. It's just not practical.
No, not to have. Yeah. I mean, sure, there's guys that would do that. They would do both, but it's not. The way it is we don't have to pick between, Cascade and Redlands are a month apart. Those are our big races, and the Nationals is, a month and a half after that for travel races. And so everything else is pretty local.
Is there much after Cascade then? I know Cascade's moved up, so it's kind of...
Well, there's a whole, June, July calendar. And Nevada
Even
City.
August.
Well, I know there is, but what is there for... I mean, we're hearing some races are getting deleted. Philly, Alberta.
Philly's back on the chopping block?
I just saw today, and then Chris had mentioned something too, that it got axed.
Yeah, the organizer kind of disappeared.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So it's a bummer.
No, it's a bummer seeing those kind of races disappear. And, that goes back to the Bart Bowen interview, where he's trying to bring, sometimes we have like Tour California, it's a big race, and we get some of these races that get so big that you don't look at the grassroots, and not that you want to have a parking lot crit all the time, but, you need races that get the crowds interested, and sometimes they get too big, and then they're done. I don't know what that has to do with your team, but we're talking all things bikes.
Well, we weren't going to go to Philly this year, or we couldn't have, because it was
UCI, right?
Well, I mean, not just UCI. It was the high. You have to be pro team.
Gotcha.
When did you do Philly?
It's after Boise, I think.
Yeah. Did you know I did you know I did Boise?
Yeah. Did your DI2 break then too?
Probably
As well?
sandwiched
Or was it
between
the
some
Zap?
Boises.
The Le Mans.
We had the Zap back then.
Yeah.
And that was
that was always been a race that I would, so when I was coming up, Redlands was always a race that I really, really just thought was super cool. And they used to have those live streams, and it'd be like Frankie Andre and the guys watching. And I watched those, Cat 3 and 4. And then last year being able to race it was awesome. Philly was another race that I was just really enthralled with. For some reason, I don't know why, I just thought the energy of that race was just super cool, and it's hard to capture. And I think races like Nevada City come close to that. And then, the Santa Cruz Classic, but other races like that. But Philly, in terms of a road race, I just thought was, from everything I've heard and from everyone who's done it, I've talked to.
Well, and it was been around since as national championship race since the early '80s.
Right.
Eric Heiden winning it and some others, so it's always been a big deal. And it was actually one of the U.S. races that you would see on TV because they would show it.
Right.
Lance Armstrong winning his Triple Crown $1 million.
Is that the Thrift Drugs? Or
yeah, that was one of the three. Yeah. So it's always been a big deal, and it was at one time it was the highest paid one-day race in the world. So people would come out and they would big prize list, and you'd have big Euros that would come over for it. They would win it, but the top American finisher would get to be the U.S. champion, which is always a little odd.
Huh.
You could finish like 10th and be crowned the champion. So, yeah, you're right. Good race. Sorry to see it go away. But why don't we get to your roster and see who you guys have this year that's riding for Mike's Bikes. Well, if you don't, I have a list. I went
good.
on
You
your
have the
website.
list? Good, I was
I
say.
went off your website, and I don't know how updated it is. So
Yeah.
we can take, maybe you want to take a look at it and see if you can talk about those people there.
Talk about these people here. My teammates. No, they're all. Yeah, those are all.
What about Leon? Is he on there?
Leon is not. No, Leon moved on. He is actually. He graduated to a pro team, a UCI pro team, continental team, Vitus Pro Cycling. Yeah. So yeah, we're really stoked for Leon. That was good.
And he moved back
Yeah.
to Europe, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think I don't know. I think the team is based out of the UK.
Okay.
Vitus. But yeah, we're all really happy for him. Yeah, and he's like, pretty stoked too as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's pretty young, right?
Yeah, I think he's 21 now. So yeah, he turned 21 on his flight home. I remember. I don't know why he just. But I mean, I guess when you're British, 21 doesn't mean a thing to you. But yeah. So anyways.
who do you have coming on new this year? And then we'll get to the stalwarts.
Yeah, so we picked up two guys. Dylan Hollinger, who's a pretty strong showing at Cascade. And just the whole year, I think he went from like a 5 to a 1, just one of those guys. And at the Cat 2 field, I think he just was with maybe himself and one other guy, but just really smashed it. And really a strong rider. And then Steven Vogel, who's been in and around the cycling scene for a while. Dr. Vogel, actually. So he's he lives in San Jose. I forgot the hospital he works at. But the guy he's pretty amazing. He works a bunch of hours a week and then rides his bike into the middle of the night and just keeps it going. But it seems like those two are good additions for the team. Yeah.
That seems tiring just talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so from returning from last year, this is what I show. So.
Cool.
So I show Andrew Gosling.
Yeah.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Andrew Shimizu.
It's me.
Arya Kiani.
Uh-huh.
Cameron Bronstein.
Yep.
Craig Fellers.
Yep.
Chris Reichert.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Hankins.
Yep.
James LeBurge.
Yep.
Roman Keeloon.
Mm-hmm.
And Caesar Belly. I don't.
Caesar, our mechanic.
And your mechanic.
Yeah,
He's
he's
on
good.
there too. Did I miss was there anybody that's on that list or someone I missed that you remember offhand?
If there is, I'll be sure to hear it. No, I don't. I think that's it. Yeah, you put me on the spot here.
But you have the district road race champion.
Yeah, Vogel.
That was
Well, no,
Crit,
he's
I
the
think.
crit champion.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, crit champion. Yeah, so the road race is Aria. Yeah,
Right.
Santa Cruz.
And
yeah.
then you picked up the crit champion.
Yeah, Vogel.
So that, I mean, you guys are pretty stacked. So, but last year you did not win the best area team competition.
Right. Who was that? Was that the Williams?
It was.
Yeah.
So, do you think you'll be gunning for that this year?
Priority one.
That's interesting. Well, I have to say, as a team, like the biggest priority are those bigger PRT races, and so that a lot of times means that you don't get to do all the local races. So I'm not really sure. I think it would be something cool that we would like to, focus on more local races. But when you do the travel races and stuff like that, a lot of times you miss out on, a week or two of local races and things like that. I think the Cal Cup was one that we wanted to try to go for this year again.
And those are stacked later in the year because you're not going to catch Tarun or something, whatever they are right now. They're
pizza
killing
guys. Yeah,
huh? Yeah, they're killing it already.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Did you say they're pizza guys?
Yeah, but that's true.
Yeah.
Is it?
Is it?
We were debating that last
Yeah,
week.
it
Well,
is.
actually,
It
I
was-
didn't.
There wasn't a
have clue.
debate.
I was
It
like, oh, that's a bike shop. Nope.
We told Tyler what it
I
was.
told Tyler. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's how I do my research. No, but they're doing well this year. Now you saw this
Right,
with
yeah.
H24 Mark Pro, where they've focused on more of the travel stuff,
Right.
and you don't see their coming up the ranks in the badges or bar or whatever it is as well. And you guys obviously have that. But when you do show up at a race, you obviously make it interesting here locally because you have such a high quality. Well,
Thank
look at
you.
the championships of the district. I mean, no, that's not a slight.
Right. Stephen Vogel and
Yeah.
Aria. Yeah.
Yeah.
In particular. But
Yeah.
obviously Reichert's won Nevada City. Cam's he's always like second or third.
Yeah, I think he was second twice in a row at Nevada.
Yeah,
but
so-
still,
Didn't he
like,
also
they're-
win the Santa Cruz race last year? The university.
Last year,
University Road Race?
I don't
Yeah.
think he. I think it was like Huffman or Gavin Mannion were out there last year. This year, Aria won it, and that was
Aria, okay.
and that was the districts.
Okay.
So last year, this year. I'm sorry. So yeah, last year, 2017, Aria won it, which was pretty. It was pretty impressive because there was a strong field there. That Cameron actually went down or got taken out by a pizza guy in that race.
Wow,
that was pretty sad.
Gauntlet's been thrown.
Isaiah Thomas. He was the pizza guy.
Was he? I don't remember. I like getting references.
Locally, yeah, never mind.
So with your roster that you've got,
It's a local pizza chain.
Who
Pizza
is?
Which
guy.
Isaiah Thomas? Maybe I was thinking of the old one.
It's the current Isaiah
Oh,
Thomas.
okay. My mind was on the bad coach.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, so with your current roster, you've got a couple guys in there that are stronger sprinters. Do you go into like a flat crit and say, we're working for person X, or you kind of play it by feel throughout the race, or do you guys have target races on the local scale, whether it's Santa Cruz or Davis or something like that?
Definitely. I think, each person comes into the race different motivations. And so there could be some guys who are just, are flying and they say, I want to go for it. So we'll work for them. And we definitely generally try to have a plan for each race and who the finish suits the best. But then, you have to adapt on the fly. I think, what was it, last year at Bariani, we went into it with like 7 or 8 guys. And then like there was a crash. And then one of them flatted, and then one of them, there was, I don't know, there's some dispute, got DQ'd for crossing the center line before a turn, and then so there was like 2 of us left. So it's just, things like that happen in races. And
Yeah.
You kind of just have to adjust for it. But yeah, flat crits and road races will have to work for sprinters and whatnot.
Do you have any goals for yourself? I mean, obviously you mentioned racing Redlands and Cascade, but anything on the local level that it's like, hey, I really want to target Nevada City or Santa Cruz or
Can I suggest a goal?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Curt.
Can we maybe try and get Cam on the first step at Nevada City? I think that'd be cool.
I'm sure he would love that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So my goal is to get Cam on the top step in Nevada City. No, Nevada City's always been a race I just love. I think it's like I said, the energy there is real cool. I would like to do well there, but if it came down to Cam and I honestly think Cam would probably had earned it at this point.
So if it's you and him on the last lap, do you sprint
taking
him?
out? Right?
Okay.
Oh no! I'm letting him go. Sorry, it was no, yeah,
Right.
No,
I could only edit so much.
no, like I said, on the fly. I don't know.
Have you seen the revised course for Nevada City?
I have.
Okay.
Local
yeah.
Curt Mills
Right.
showed me the course.
Did you guys take it at full speed?
The course?
Yeah.
No, we
We walked pretty fast.
Yeah, we walked very fast.
Walking. Okay.
Yeah.
Those corners are easy on
I
foot.
know, yeah, it was, but it looks interesting though. And I guess so. When was the last time they ran that course?
I think it was like 78,
Okay.
8. It was late 70s, maybe 1980.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it looks like it's going to be an interesting finish because it's not a downhill finish. Essentially, it's the sprint into the last corner, which is a slight uphill for like 200 meters.
Yeah, something like that. It's
Where's
really,
the-
really
where's
quick.
the finish?
Uphill, but
It
it's-
takes that left down the alley, and then where's the finish? Like in the bathroom?
It's right
The
at the
alley where Reg used to be.
Yeah.
and then you go straight through that. Like,
But
that,
where's the start-finish line?
Yeah, so it's that alley where the Reg was. You continue on up the little hill by the courthouse, and it's right next to the courthouse.
Okay, so it's kind of on a slight uprise.
Correct. Yeah. So you're going to carry speed down the hill, take that left, and then you're just going to sprint with everything you have up that hill.
But lap riders do the original old course, the new course, right? You're crossing on that one.
Yeah, Chris,
Right.
yeah. It's like Hot
that would
Wheels.
be yeah.
Look
that'd be
left, look
amazing.
right, look
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
No, okay. Well, wow.
It looks like a cool course. I mean, we were up there this weekend. I walked through that alleyway, and it's a lot more open than I think some folks would lead you to believe. So I think it'll be fun and fast.
One of the organizers of that race this year is actually a former Philadelphia International Classic third place finisher. Before you were there, I think it was 93 or 90.
Stockton.
Curt Stockton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He used to be our rep for time. We had time pedals, shoes, and forks.
He's a rep for Scott now.
Yeah. No, he's moved on.
If they're interested.
Yeah.
You guys listening?
Between two wheels. Yeah, like
got a lot of openings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about Nevada City Classic. So is that a goal for you? I mean,
Nevada City?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, that's a goal.
How many months away is that? I'm just trying to think of razors. How long is it going to take you to get your legs shaved?
Pull out the head trimmers for this one. Yeah, but the cool thing about that is Tour de Nez and Nevada City are in the same weekend. So you can kind of do that. It's like a sort of a stage
it's a good
race.
combo. And also, we have Auburn and Winchester on the same weekend.
Oh, they're on the same weekend, though?
Yeah. So those would be kind of once again, a little bit of punchy, climby type of things.
Yeah.
I like back to back.
Auburn's, I love that course.
Maybe it'll get a little bit more traction for both of those because I don't know what happened last year. Just not a lot of people out for either one.
No, I think it got rolled into the Red Kite Omnium.
Yeah.
So that should help bring in some numbers, and having it on the same weekend will help as well.
Yeah.
Have you done Winchester?
Actually, I haven't done Winchester yet. Yeah, no, I should.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, I heard it's not
perfect for you.
Perfect. Yeah. No, I heard it's a up and down course all day.
Yeah. It's a good one though. The pavement is incredibly smooth and fast, and it's fun.
Just through like a neighborhood.
Yeah. The golf course. Yeah.
It's kind of cool because the residents come out and pop up a lawn chair and cheer you on as you come by.
All right.
It kind of makes getting dropped feel a little better. So
little golf range practice.
Yeah.
Stop for drinks.
Yeah.
They're friendly.
That's good.
Yeah. So Cascade, you're probably doing that as well. We talked about the race itself. Goals there.
Cascade. Personal or team goals?
Both. Let's do both.
I don't. I can't speak for the rest of the team. Obviously, I don't know where everyone's at. But like personally, I like to do well on a stage. Yeah, Cascade or a bigger road stage. There, I don't know.
So they changed the time trial,
and we'll see how it's going. They changed the time trial.
It's a 3-mile Mercs only time trial, and it's listed as technical
for everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, they're reducing it a day, so it's 4 days.
4 days, 5 stages.
So I wonder if it's the same as they used to have the prologue.
Yeah.
So is it? Do you know if it's the same as that?
I don't know.
3 miles. The prologue would seem to be shorter.
That makes sense. No, because Floyd Landis did it one year during his comeback.
T-shirt.
In like a T-shirt. So it'd be interesting to go look at what that course was, because that would make sense that you would just redo that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that prologue was technical, Merc style. I would like to see something with some steep pitches and some twisted descents. I don't know.
You just want to say
3 miles.
Well, no, I'm looking for what would be beneficial to me.
You want to
right?
throw some tacks out
because you get a 3 mile thing, we get a technical descent with a steep short climb. I could handle the short climb.
So you want a 2.9 mile descent? Is what you mean?
And steep pitches are downhill too.
I know. Yeah, it's a 20% down.
I'm looking for advantages of ways to still be in there.
I don't know if any of the courses are finalized yet.
Yeah,
so you
so
might be able
let's
to send some recommendations in.
there.
I'll send. I have absolutely no connections, so I'm sure
Yeah,
it'll be.
I think we're doing it now on the airwaves.
This is
Use your voice.
But yeah, it's road race on Thursday morning.
Oh wow.
TT that evening.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then Friday they're doing the crit downtown.
Okay.
Saturday is a road race. All this is just really generic information, and then Sunday is a circuit race in Brasada Ranch.
Oh, so
but there's no details.
So they're So they're not doing the Aubrey Butte circuit?
That might be incorporated into some of it, because when they say road race, it might be kind of in and around that area to kind of stay within the community and be able to kind of drop back into town or something.
So you think they're? So I haven't obviously looked at any of this, but you think they're just redoing the whole race?
That's what it sounds like. He kept referencing cool new routes. So it's, and I imagine if they're moving it up a month, there's worry about potential snow. So they might not be able to get up and around all that as easily.
Well, I mean, this year maybe not, but I don't know. I remember last year they were like plowing Mackenzie Pass, till June or so. But are they going to bring Mastersfield back?
Masters and juniors.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was one of his big selling points, is really wanting to recruit juniors into the race by having a couple crits that are just for high school kids that haven't raced before, and just for youth to try and start it at a younger age.
That's right.
It's called the bloodbath event.
Jesus Christ.
We
Have you ever thought about putting on a
edit
race,
that out,
Tyler?
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just for entertainment value. That crit could be dangerous just with us. So that's,
It has
See the
been.
Masters race a couple weeks ago.
yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is.
No, and
Let's
that was
talk
a
about that though. Like I wasn't there for that, but there was. So I heard this from from a very reliable source that
It's not a reliable source.
Willie Myers, and he's very reliable.
And
Was he there?
He wasn't there either.
Well, he was watching, or he said he watched the video. Okay,
He saw a video.
The
I
live
don't want to
stream.
slam on Willie. He's a great guy.
No,
But I think even if he isn't the most reliable source, he's definitely the most entertaining source. Like hearing the guy tell a story. There was a moto here.
You've got a
and then
new
there was
category of people,
there
and
was-
you're right.
There was a ref here, and see what clarify what happened. I know they stopped the sprint, right? And I know that didn't go through, but there was a moto and then a car in the finishing straight.
It was crazy, and we did a whole breakdown on the last episode of Between
Okay,
Two
so
Wheels podcast.
If you're
Episode
listening, just cut back
Yeah.
to episode.
Yeah, so I would say
yada,
take a
yada.
listen to
33.
that. But I
If
will,
it's still on the
for
iTunes
new people,
website.
I will clue you in. It's the Folsom Crit.
Yeah.
We come through the start finish line before corner 1, and there's a wreck in about the first third part of the race
Okay.
in the front, near the front.
This is on the start of the last lap.
So going into the bell lap.
Bell lap's ringing.
Yeah.
We haven't taken the first corner. Boom, people go down, and there's maybe 25 people going for the finish. I don't know, maybe less than that, or
Wow.
maybe more than that. Come around the final corner, and we're jumping for the sprint. And so the guy that went down, John Fritz, is still down in the middle of the road, past the start finish, right before the corner.
Oh.
The follow car pulls in front of him, so now there's a car in the road.
Oh, no.
The lead motorcycle did not go around with us. He decided, for some reason, to stay and comes back towards us.
Yeah, I heard he was going towards.
There's now officials on
Playing
the
chicken
right
with
side
you guys.
yelling at us. There's officials on the left yelling at us. And, I talked to the organizer. I mean, one of them there, Ken Todd, and he's basically like, look, we are required to have a motorcycle official. It's not a choice we have. His job is to lead the pack. We then have a follow car, which their job is to make sure clean up on the back end. They did their job somewhat correct. They probably needed to get off the course. But the lead bike needed to go around and flag us down and stop us. So we do a full-on sprint. Then you're pulling up halfway through. Some people are sprinting. Some people aren't. Your motorcycle coming at you. And it's a whole shit show that just DMP'd everybody.
Who got the sprint? I know the DMP, but who got the sprint? That's
the video was Sean Bagley's, and he had the win.
We're not doing this.
He sat up, and someone else came by him, and then that was part of the controversy. But those guys were everyone was pretty much DMP. I mean, we don't want to sprint it again. They should have, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a shit show. And we had geese in the road earlier.
Geese. Okay.
It was handled pretty easily, though.
And maybe that's what Willie was really getting with.
Episode 32, we
PTSD
called out
from
that
the
geese
geese.
would be a hazard.
We did. We predicted that one.
Yes.
That's about the only thing we predicted in 30-some plus episodes.
We had the race date correct as well.
Yeah.
Was there 80? I heard there's 86 people in the race.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
And in the 3-4s race, there's 102.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Anytime you get, look, good weather right now. Everyone's, somewhat fit.
But I mean,
excited.
like even these races last year, or when there was good weather, but you just got to think about the USAC registration in general. Like I haven't seen the numbers, but that's got to be encouraging.
Yeah. What's Mike's Bike's take on getting reg up?
Getting what do you?
Well, we haven't
registration
seen
numbers up. I don't know if you have anything for that. You want me to cut that out too, don't you?
No, it's fine. No, don't.
We're
You're not
all
gonna be left
excited
with
to see
anything if
Mike's
you cut
bikes at
everything
races, and we haven't seen
I'm
them
sorry
very
that
much.
we didn't come out to Land Park and Folsom. Those are both good races, and for the guys in the Bay Area, it was probably hard for them to come out. But it was just, I think there was conflicting dates with the Grasshopper, which everyone was wanting to do. And
What were you doing?
wow, we've been on the spot here.
So far you've said Bay Area, Grasshopper. Yeah. I don't think either one of those pertain to you.
He wasn't installing windows. I know.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that one. That fell through.
Training ride. He was doing a training ride.
No, I honestly, yeah, that's good. That's a great question.
I mean, look, you don't have to show up for those rides. How's your training going though?
It's going well.
You looking good?
Am I looking good? That's for you to say. Am I feeling good?
No, I mean,
okay.
like, when you look at your training peaks and whatever, is it look?
I think it's
numbers?
coming through. Yeah.
Do you guys get a power meter with the Di2 or?
Is that a Can you put a power meter on
No,
DI2?
let me ask you this: does the team provide
Do you know how
with any-
DI2 works?
He doesn't.
Does he know?
No,
'cause
I don't
it's
think he
It's
understands
electronic
it.
shifting.
It's electronic shifting, but I know
But then
this,
if you pull the cable out, it gets stuck.
I meant with
generally
you have a
you need
DI2
11.
Dura-Ace Grupo, right?
The
Or-
Ultegra. Yeah,
Ultegra.
Yeah.
Now I know that Shimano came out with a power meter. I don't know.
Right.
Do you guys get that?
No, we just with,
Whatever you have.
Yeah, so the bike just came did not come with that.
You train strictly on heart rate.
RPE, just by feel.
RPE, just feeling.
Yeah.
Just,
That
no,
was
I have a
tough.
power meter.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't even have your Garmin. When we did that ride later on this year, it's a little disappointing. You
When
didn't
was
even.
that?
Yeah, we went up to Nevada City, and all of us went and did a ride.
Well, so you give me grief about not working on Windows, but then when I do,
Oh, I didn't give you.
Yeah,
I didn't give you.
I was
Tyler
going to,
doesn't
and then
care.
I got cajoled into this ride by you guys. That was a pretty good ride, by the way. That was
I had no trouble with you skipping out on doing.
Neither did I. I enjoyed the
football to
ride.
work or
That
whatever it is.
Curt was cold that night, though.
Dude, that was a good ride. We need to do another one soon.
So we've got. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys have? Questions for specific mics? We could talk about the upcoming calendar, the local races, and some other things in cycling. But I don't want to get off of Mike's Bikes team presented by Equator.
Equator coffee.
Equator Coffee. What? You think I know how to? Okay. We got.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So, any
Are you guys
other
doing
questions?
Snelling?
Yeah, we will be at Snelling.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
So that's
I think
a good
that's the
one.
next big one on the calendar.
That is
right?
a very big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys gonna be doing Snelling?
Sure.
It's a big one on the calendar.
Chris is.
There's guys in the
so
bay.
1 year, I will.
Our team has problems because we have guys in the bay, and then there's grasshoppers,
I'm sensitive to the sarcasm.
so that we can't.
Chris, how have you been?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As the gluten at the hematocrit.
Yeah, I've got my gluten-free beer here.
Okay.
I've been testing my hematocrit and my hemoglobin. They're all where
Yeah.
they should be, right in the normal range.
Good.
So
Good to hear.
So, Andrew, team dynamics, they can be fickle sometimes, right? Depending on personalities. Since early last year, you've been the face of special financing on mikesbikes.com.
Yeah. Was it pay now or buy now? Pay
No,
later?
no. It's play before you pay.
Play
which-
before you play. Play before
I
you
think
Wait,
makes
is this
a lot of
Vegas? It
sense.
sounds like the Telly Zavalas.
Any jealousy from your teammates? Because it's not even a rotating picture with like other. It's just you all the time.
It's just me for what, a cheap deal? It's me.
Play
bad
before you
credit?
pay.
Is that what you're saying?
I think they're saying that he doesn't pick up the tab.
Yeah.
Play before you pay.
Someone- like this guy. No, it's just the website.
Kinda
Your life
cute.
hasn't
They
changed.
had the what was it on the mailer? Aria was on the mailer. They
Okay.
had some the mega sale and stuff.
did you sign your rights away for this photo use?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know. They
Came with the Di2.
yeah.
given the choice between the mailer and the website, I think you chose.
I saw a picture of you on there. It was a breakdown before you were on the team, and it's a picture of Garrett doing a race, and you're behind him in your DDA stuff. It's pretty sweet. So you've been just recruited all over.
Yeah.
Photobombing more like
Any
it.
other ones there, Curt?
For Mike's Bikes, no, that was it.
You're not gonna go with my Facebook profile.
I don't go through. I don't check you out there.
Yeah, that's
Any changes to the kit?
yeah, they are. Well, I would.
You didn't bring one, but
yeah, no, well, it's radio
For the podcast, he's actually in his kit.
yeah,
video.
exactly. Wondering. Yeah, no, there are. You can check the Instagram page. They have pictures of the new kit, and they look pretty slick. So capo kits, they fit really good actually. Last year I got a size too big, and then this year I got a size down, and it was a little tight. I feel like the Jane
You can
Mayfield
diet into
pulling
it.
me out of my kit, but what diet into it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I could definitely do that. But yeah, the capo stuff it actually fits pretty nice, and it's not
Did you diet into the yours last year?
Grew into it.
fill it out.
Size up.
Hold on, let me drink this beer real quick.
They made our so we've got Castelli, which I love, but they have a new jersey this year, and I don't know if it's the beer belly version, but it's made to like fit a beer belly. And
It's pretty rough.
luckily I did not get it,
Okay.
but I've heard bad things about it. So, and no, they're not sponsored by Castelli. They just
Oh, yeah.
It's
No,
a
not
generous
anymore.
fit,
You never
yeah.
will be, obviously.
Right.
we don't have beer bellies.
You know,
Yeah.
not yet. No, that I remember. What was it that we were all stoked that year that it had the climbers jersey, which were really cool, but those were really really stretchy. You remember that? Like the black.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
white
changed.
ones?
We've got like what's
Yeah,
called an
those are
Aero
really
Race,
comfy.
which is really stretchy. So I just get the smalls. Yeah, these arms, these
Yeah.
go small.
What about Capo?
Oh, capo, yeah.
Yeah, they're great too.
No, they are. I mean, whatever you plug.
You guys
They're-
doing a team camp?
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, we're doing team camp. It's in a couple weeks over in
cool.
Inverness. Yeah,
Where?
Inverness is by Point Reyes.
Okay,
area.
cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so really pretty out there. So
Nice.
should be good.
It's also the name of a golf course.
But
That's
so
true.
It's not in California.
No.
Yeah.
So what's your team camp comprised of? What was it like last year? Because we don't know what these things are like.
Oh shush. It was last year. I mean, it's just great to get everybody in the same house or same location because probably throughout the season, I don't think there was a time when everyone was together because everyone's doing different races and stuff, and just a time to go over sponsor, talks and stuff like that. People's goals for the year, just get familiar with the team and just have fun riding and doing some training, I think just team bonding overall.
So a lot of these questions we're asking you will probably be answered then, like your team goals and kind of the races and solidify some things that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good thinking. It's good prep, I should say.
So yeah, you'll go in at least
Test.
prepared.
Yeah.
Do you have like a race director or like who's the senior member that tells you, or who makes the final decisions on that team?
Let's say you're going to Redlands. I mean, what do you do for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we have our luckily our team is we have some old, more experienced guys, older guys on the team who've been around, but like
You talking about
seriously
Roman?
been around. Yeah, Roman's. Yeah,
Okay.
the guy. He's a stalwart of the peloton. Right?
Yeah.
and he's still crushing it.
Yeah.
And for tactics, we definitely default to people like him or Switters when they're in the race, and just for local races we kind of figure out with ourselves. But for a bigger race like that, yeah, we definitely sit down. People can talk and see who's going well and whatnot, and if there's a time trial or other stages that shake out like that for people to race for GC. But yeah, lucky that we have a lot of great leadership on the team to kind of.
Gotcha.
So at
Like
some
this
of the
there.
bigger races, you obviously have people driving cars. Do you bring in someone to DS for you, or is it just kind of like someone drives the car and they're just a beard?
Just a guy off the street. Yeah.
No, I mean, like,
Wanna
what'd you
drive
do?
a car on the
What'd you
weekend?
do at Redlands, for example, or Cascade?
Yeah, that's a good question. At Redlands, we had our mechanic Caesar. He
Okay.
drove the car, and then at Cascade we had Sean Rosenthal. He's a former team rider. He was our mechanic Swanee, and then Martina, Roman's wife, who was also very experienced pro in her own right. She helped her out with that just the race car stuff, race caravan stuff. But yeah, we don't have a DS or anyone that just is strictly in the car, shouting orders. We don't have radios, so we're pretty together with the team, figuring things out like that.
Yeah, I guess that means you guys need to be cohesive beforehand, or just really disorganized and just float with it. I guess.
Yeah.
So you guys have Mike's has a pretty strong masters team as well. Do you guys ever interact or mix it up with them, whether
Yeah.
camp or group rides or anything?
Definitely, yeah. No, I mean, I've seen the guys around like the races and stuff like that, and then there's group rides. A lot of them are in the Bay Area, which admittedly I haven't got a chance to go out to. But yeah, the Masters guys are real swell, and they're all strong riders.
Yeah.
Right too. As you guys.
Yeah.
probably
We've
know.
experienced that.
Yeah, sure.
And then there's a development team for Mike's.
Right.
Is there ever any confusion on your guys' end? Do they interact or kind of integrate in with you guys in P12 races?
Yeah, there's definitely, and it's like we have different kits, but they look similar.
Yeah.
But there a lot of times you see Cat 2s show up. Cat 2s, the guys on the development team who race, and there's a lot of really strong development riders, and
But you guys race independently from each other. They
yeah,
don't,
I mean, generally because it's like if they have like 4 guys and we have like 6 guys, it's
Yeah.
like a bigger team, and but all the guys are pretty swell dudes. I don't know all of them. I know some of the guys in the local area, the dev team, but they're hungry, which is it's good.
right.
Yeah, so
But if they show up to a race, they're not working for you, but they've got their
No.
own thing.
no, they're no, we don't work on that same team level, I guess.
Yeah.
Same with the women, I imagine then too.
Well, unless they're in our race, no. Yeah, they don't. Yeah,
Do
we
you
don't
do
race.
the women's races? Have you tried
Do
that?
I do
yet?
the women's races? No, I have not tried them. But there's women that race our races.
Of
too.
course, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I imagine it's obviously you guys are set into your situation, your team. But I mean, you're talking about camps and other thing like that. I know they have a women's team as well.
Right.
Is there any overlap on that you guys all get together and do stuff, or is that more like over in the Bay they're just group riding and whatnot?
Kind of like yeah. For the camp we do like the elite team camp, but there's definitely like Team Mike Spikes rides. The women, the dev teams, masters, or just open rides. People come out, and we have people who ride on the elite team, and their wives are on the women's team, and so there's a lot of overlap, and hopefully there was a lot of chances for overlap throughout the season. Get to know them better.
So if something goes wrong with your bike and you need it fixed as a team member, are you, and as a serious
Are you
question,
talking about your DI2?
No, my
going out
DI2
at
is
the
all
Winners
solid.
Road race?
No, but
okay.
if you need to get something team wise, do you get to just go into any Mike's bikes? Is that kind of the deal you have, or do you have to go into a certain one, or have a service center, or what do you guys do? I'm just curious since you guys have such a vast number of shops.
Right, for the team. I mean, yeah, like I said, they've been supporting the team for a number of years now, and the level of support we get from the shop, and the people that work in the shops, and Matt Adams is just amazing. They don't just give us the bikes; they help us out with maintenance and things like that. And luckily here it's Folsom and Sacramento shop, so I work downtown and know the people there, and I can just bring my bike in and talk to the mechanics and have them help me out with something there or something up here in Folsom. So and there's all the shops in the Bay Area, so they definitely cater to us as on the team.
Yeah,
so if we need a bike fix, we can go in there and help us out.
That's nice for
Are they
in this area.
Do they go, hey, there's the special financing guy? Is that how they know?
Yeah, he's playing before he pays.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. He never pays.
Yeah,
You play before you pay.
Okay, so we're looking forward to your team actually, to see them out some of the races that we're going to be at. No, they've got a big Northern California presence. Obviously, we're excited about the Redlands that they do. Hopefully, you guys, I don't know which you're going to do that one, or Gila, Cascade, and then seeing you up at some of the national stuff too. But let's look at some of the upcoming races we have for February and March. We're just gonna put these out there. This isn't necessarily Mike's related, and you can tell us maybe if you're doing any of these, or Chris, you could tell us if you're doing any of these. So February we've got
Kurt though.
not Kurt.
Nobody cares about
We already know the answer.
I know what Kurt's doing.
We already know the answer.
Cantua Creek Road Race, Pine Flat Road Race, and then Cherry Pie. That's all coming up this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You've done Cherry Pie,
Yeah.
Andrew. You're going to be heading out there again. And what do you know? Do you know anything about those other two road races? Have you done either one of those?
Yeah, I did Pine Flat one year, and that was like a 4. And but it's a real sweet race, but I haven't gotten out there because it's just one of those, I think it's down like Fresno area or something.
Yeah.
And we did the race as a 4, and then me and this other guy took a wrong turn. And then we ended up...
This is after the race?
No, this is during the race. And we ended up in like a cow farm, and we were just like, I don't think this is where the race is.
No,
and the moto
sound right.
didn't even... So we circled back, and then finally got... And then we were just totally messed up by the time we got back
Won
to the
the
car.
race.
No, and then they're like, dude, we thought you were off the front. We're like, no, we were hanging out with cow. No, but it's a real cool race if you stay on the course. So I've heard. That's
a great review. Anybody that wants to know more, obviously.
It's a great.
We'll title
it's
this
a great
one
because
Andrew Ribs Organizers.
No, it's got to get. No, that was our fault. We didn't know what we were doing. And
Were there arrows on the road?
Yeah, no.
there
But
a moto ref?
it's a good it's got a good climb in it too. So if you're looking for a road race to the climb, that's a good one. Which a lot some of the road races in the early season don't have. Cantua Creek, I don't think I've done.
All right. Snelling, which comes up on the 24th.
He is going to be at Cherry Pie, by the way. Going back to Cherry Pie.
Yeah, I mentioned
He's
that.
going to be there.
He's got to get a pie. Have you done the new course there?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
No.
Well, I haven't either, so it'd be interesting to see. Snelling, Snelling. That's
Yep.
always a big draw.
Yeah.
And then the Central Coast Road Race the next day. I don't know. I haven't done that one.
I don't. is just
I don't know what.
I think that's actually been pulled off the calendar.
Oh.
There was
think-
permitting issues.
Back that one out. And then March we start Madeira. Do you guys do like the Madeira stage race? Are you planning on doing that?
I think I might actually do that one this year. Yeah, I haven't before, but I think I would like to try to get that one on crack.
So March we're pretty good. We've had some red kite stuff in there. Land Park Crit, Ward's Ferry, which you've done those both in the same day before. You planning on doubling up again?
Did I do both? Oh, that is, yeah, I did. Wow, that was, I forgot about that. That's
God,
right.
I'm good.
Yeah, no. No, the reason why is because I wasn't planning on doing it. I went to watch, and I said, I'm not going to do it unless someone buys me red. And Casey and Curt paid for me to go and race, and I think I finished,
I'm sure you
next
did
to
great.
last.
Good job,
no,
Curt.
That's called the Bang Bang.
That was the sure. Those are I would love to do Ward's Ferry again, and I don't know, Land Park in the same day, sure, and then Bariani they made it like 100 miles this year.
Yeah, it's a new course too.
Yeah, it's got a little bump over a hill.
Part of the old
Oh.
course.
It's
So-
always part of the old course.
Well-
Something's always part of the. Hey, we're gonna do the old course.
Yeah, but the old climb where they had the.
I don't
Is there a climb out there?
There is. There's a
There's an
okay.
overpass.
Chris, there's a KOM. So the old course before they changed it to the new course had a climb, but it also had a right hand turn that was right underneath an olive tree since they do olive oil. In any event, it was always slippery. So
because of the oil.
correct. So just be careful.
Watch out for that right-hander.
Right. That's a little tip for everyone.
Sounds like a personal experience.
It's not my experience, but I do recall people crashing there.
My problem with that race is I have to get up early.
That's a lot of races.
Yeah,
I know.
It's any road race.
That's any road race.
I know that maybe that's why we've been doing crits.
Actually, I bet you don't have to get up early for that race. If you do,
There's two waves, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I remember the men's.
Maybe I'll do the
we went
100
to,
miles
and
just so I don't have to.
No, but we went pretty early last year. I remember
Oh,
it was
downgrade?
early, one of those early races. Yeah.
it's not kidding. But yesterday I was I bought some bread and I was at the grocery store and I was faced with what olive oil to get, and with that choice in front of me and Bariani on the shelf, I did pick Bariani.
You guys are pandering so
No,
hard.
I'm
for
not.
these
I'm never going to
sponsors.
get anything from them, but
Sure,
their
yeah.
support of the race did make the.
It's interesting that you're holding up a bottle of
Yeah,
Bariani.
Bariani. Are you drinking olive oil right now? I thought that was a beer. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
I've
makes the joints
represented
feel
a guy
good.
that was big in California olive oil, and I've got a story for you at some point.
Always name dropping,
There's some-
Tyler.
There's some
That's-
weird
that's,
shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
No, so always make sure you get California olive oil. That's
California
the point.
olive
The
oil.
Bariani.
Yeah.
Just get that and you're good.
Yeah.
Colavita's also a supporter. Well, they support racing. They've always supported
They
the
did.
team, and
They,
there's
they have, the one
They
with
have a
seat
race,
cell,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. How about that Bissell vacuum? That thing sucks up like a. Bariani Chico stage race,
Yeah.
which we've talked about, and you said you're probably planning on going out there. For
Yeah,
that.
I would love. Yeah, I'm
So
planning on that one.
with that time, I mean, is that a support race for you? It's not a lot of climbing, so
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's not a race that suits me as well.
You've been working on your time trial skills?
I got a power meter for my time trial.
That's a good
for
start.
the time trial bike that I'm borrowing, which isn't mine. So
Nice.
I don't.
Di2 power meter or
No. That's definitely not a race that suits me as well. But I would just like to do. It's just a fun race.
Yeah.
And Chico's a cool area. And we have some other guys that probably do well there. Chris and Roman are good time trials.
Yeah.
That would do well there.
I now just sort of deviate off of yours thing. Did you guys look at the? I have not looked at the reg yet to see if is it P1, is it P1-2, is there
It's
a 2
P1.
only?
P1.
Okay, P1, and then there's a 2 only.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
No 45 plus. Though.
Yeah.
Wait,
Sorry.
that's news to me.
What are you gonna race then, Tyler? Are you gonna race Masters?
Yeah, I'll do the 35.
Cool.
I mean, it's 35 plus, so I still can. I'm plus.
Plus, you are plus.
Yeah. No, I it doesn't work for me to do. I did the P1-2 a few years out there. Or P1 was it a few years ago out there
Really? What year was that?
when Horner was supposed to show up.
Oh, so that 2015.
It was a P1-2 at the time.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No,
Not to,
no. Hey,
Not to cut you down.
no, but it was a really. We had a huge field, and it was like fighting for position all on the backside, and I don't know.
That was the first time Rally came out and just crushed everybody.
Yeah, I think so.
KHS was it was a Adrian Costa, former bicycle racer, was there. I think he may have won. He may have won, or he
Wow.
did really well.
We should probably know these facts before we. I know Huffman, Brad Huffman.
They're the same
Same
person.
guy.
I don't know, Brad. I think he won that whole thing that weekend.
Okay.
It's not
Sure.
important.
I could
If
totally
you say
be,
so.
No,
Point is
Why
we
does
were
that
there.
have Chico on the calendar?
I'm blowing it. Tempest Fugit ITT. Have you done that one, Chris? I say you because the
I
other
have
ones.
not.
Where is that the one that's in the East Bay?
Yeah. There's two down there. There's the Calaveras
Right.
and then there's the Tempest. I've done the
Okay.
Calaveras one, which is fun. I've not done this other one, though.
We should probably get to some of those. Chris is former Masters 35 plus team time trial district champion.
Wow.
Member.
I like all the
written down
qualifiers in there. It really just...
I checked all the boxes.
Right.
you were going along with me. And then at the end of the month, we've got two. Actually, these are Copperopolis. I showed on the 321. Maybe I had that wrong. But Santa Cruz Classic Criterium, which I love that race and probably should get back to it. But that's a good one too.
Santa Cruz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You plan on doing that?
Yeah, I
Any
think
idea?
so. Yeah. I mean, when is that?
I show it on the 25th
March.
Yeah, end of March.
on a Sunday.
Sounds like a
So let's
good way to use
get
a
out there.
Sunday.
Hey, great race. I went and saw that when I was in high school.
Mhm.
So it's been around a while,
Yeah.
even longer than that too. So.
Right. Wow. High school, what was that? When Kennedy was office? Or
No. Well, there was probably Ted was in senator,
yeah.
maybe. It was like 88. I think it was when it was 87, 88. All right, so let's talk about who's mad at what. Curt?
Mad?
What about Copperopolis?
Copperopolis. Oh, who wants to do Copperopolis? I'm mad at Copperopolis.
Why are you mad?
No, I'm not. But Copperopolis. So you want to talk about Copperopolis?
No,
I've never done
That's the
Copperopolis.
next one on the calendar, 321. I would imagine that's a race for you.
I'd like to do that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might be a.
race. Yeah.
Seems like Mike's is always right there.
I think they had some tar issues last year. Was it the year before? Where they tried to reseal some of the potholes?
Right. Last year they resealed a bunch of the potholes, so he was like getting rooster tailed, but just with tar and
Nice.
you just that was rough. Just eating tar chips. All
Well, hopefully
day.
the season has kind of sealed that up nice for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a good race too. So I mean, like with that race, you almost just take it in stride. You're just like, this is ridiculous that you're just getting sprayed by this stuff. But then at the same point, you've signed up for the race, so you know that Copperopolis is going to be a.
I don't know if that's usually something you
race.
expect in a road race, though.
Well, in
right?
Copperopolis it is. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of
Flying tar.
Yeah, I mean Copperopolis, you just the only thing you go into it knowing is it's going to be bumpy and not comfortable.
And Tari.
Sorry, maybe. Yeah.
Anything can happen at Copperopolis.
Yeah. Andrew Talansky can show up.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. He did show up. Maybe he'll show up again this year.
Yeah.
Time trial work.
Is there a creek they can swim across? Or?
There is. Isn't there the dam that you go across?
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's-
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Curt, you had said something. Are you still mad about this? Do you still want to talk about this?
I don't think
This
I'm
seems like
invested
something you
enough
two
to be
should,
mad at it. No,
talk Private.
I don't know enough. You know, I haven't been following the Ruta del Sol. I know that Chris Froome, for example, I know yesterday after stage one, he said it was really nice that a lot of the pro riders had come up to him and said, and supported him. And he was heartened by that. And that was interesting to me because it turns out it might be some fake news because Tim Wellens actually has come out today and said that's not what he experienced, that 9 out of 10 guys actually don't support Froome in this case. And
Did
so
he cite a poll?
Yeah. What's his population size for that one?
9.
well, I don't know how many guys are in the Ruta del Sol. I don't know, whatever that is. And then Mikel Landa just kind of like shrugged and blew it off and said, "Yeah, the rules are what they are. He can be here." So I don't know. Seems like the guys pro
I feel like
pelotons.
Landa and Froome probably aren't the best friends.
They're probably not. You're
to
right.
start with.
But Tim Wellens, everybody likes Tim Wellens, and
Sure,
you know
why
he
not?
says 9 out of 10 riders. What do you got to say? We got a pro rider here, Andrew. What do you say?
There must be another Andrew in the room.
No, what some of this stuff I've been thinking about, and did you know, as an example, what happened? Let's say Chris Froome, they have a decision tomorrow, and they find out that his butamol level was too high, and he's guilty.
I think they already decided it was too high.
Well, but he
That's
can't
the whole
confirm
debate.
why on a controlled
Right.
subject. Let's just say he's found whatever. Do you know what the ramifications? And let's say he wins the Ruta. Do you know what the ramifications are?
I think it depends on what I don't know if it goes before a jury or what the process is, but I think the suspension can be varied in length. If it's
Well, there's a suspension, but the suspension goes in then. This is what I found out. I was looking at it a little bit more. Basically, the race that he was doing, the Vuelta, he gets nixed.
right.
But then the suspension would go in from the time that they make that decision. So if he starts winning things, he's not deemed unable to race. He's not deemed that he doesn't get those results wiped out. It's from then there's a suspension, and then he's suspended from that day on because it's a controlled substance. It's much different than being tested positive. And I'm not getting this from the media as an example. And then the president's saying all these things about he needs to do the right thing. I'm not going to defend Chris Froome on any of this yet. I'm like kind of want some due process, and I kind of am wondering about why Andrew's so distracted over here.
I'm just looking at the paintings up there. That's a good one. Is that
That's Tyler.
I know.
No, I think that's a Sonny or Duvall guy.
I always said Duvall. Like, who would you have wanted so badly that you got a Sonny or Duvall picture?
So my sister, this is artwork in my office, and my sister had bought these for me. So
you're throwing your sister under the bus.
Yeah. I don't know who that is. It could be Contador. It could be Chris Horner.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It could be.
It was just
people.
Nice colors. So anyways, go back to
Tyler.
The
lamestream media isn't asking the right questions, and Chris Froome is due some due process.
I'm saying I'm not getting I'm not getting that. The writers aren't getting the right answers, and you know what I have a problem with the media. I have a problem with the cycling media because I don't think they do necessarily a lot of digging. An example.
Sure.
Example? They're cycling media.
I know. What?
What do you expect?
Well, you'd expect them on something like this to at least come out and say, here's the facts on the ground, and everyone can have them because, when everyone's got different ideas, and no one's saying what I just don't feel like I'm getting the real story of what the suspension is and why it's different than everything else and how it would be proceeded.
I also feel like half this quote cycling media are just unpaid writers who are just putting stuff out there, and I'm not discrediting their writing, but just like, are you okay? Well, how much time are they going to spend on the story?
I don't know. Do you think Velo News or Cycling Tips has any other job than cycling
people do you mean the staff writers?
Yeah,
I'm sure they probably have something else. They can't pay that much.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But I'm sure there's probably people who make their living off of that, right? But they're not. It's. I'm not saying their journalism isn't to the high standard. I'm just saying, like, how much more digging do you want them to do?
No, I just want. I just would like maybe the actual reporting of here's the process of just like I described it. I didn't know that until I heard something this week.
Yeah, no, you did a great job with that actually, because I hadn't heard it put that way either. But that puts a different spin on it, and you realize like why would he sit out? Because he's going to collect all these victories. The money doesn't get taken away.
Or if he says I'm not, I don't know what happened. I'm not guilty. Then why are you going to do that? And why is it different for him than? And maybe there's a guy that comes along later that this happens to, and he's like, oh well, Chris Froome is my spokesman for this. I don't know.
But there was other cases with Pataki and other guys in the past that had the same exact thing with the salbutamol, like same case, right? How did it play out for them?
Well, they self-suspended.
Self-suspended. Okay.
Yeah. Or they took a plea. They said they weren't going to fight it. I don't know.
And for them, how long was that?
I think it was 9 months, right?
Yeah, 6-9 months, somewhere in that range.
So theoretically, based on Froome's approach, he can race. Let's say he doesn't get this stuff resolved for a while. He can race the Giro. He can race the Tour. Win those. End up getting suspended. That suspension won't take effect until after those races.
Until they suspend him, yeah, because he hasn't volunteered. Because it's once again, it's not an illegal substance.
Right.
It's a controlled substance, and this is part of that process. And we've argued, you and I have discussed this ourselves, Chris. Then I think change the rules. I don't have a problem with that. Make it so the time lapse doesn't go for so long. You say, hey, in 30 days you got to do something. If the rider, and actually this is part of it, if the rider wants to, if they're not getting their resolution in time, then they can have some recourse on their suspension. Saying that they've already served time, so to speak. But that's not what's happening. If anything, the rider's perpetuating this time lapse. So,
right.
Yeah, because I could see him basically pushing it off until September and then saying, you know what, I'm going to be suspended through the one-day classics in the spring, but that's okay.
Well, they've already pushed it to the Court of Arbitration and Sport, I think.
Right.
So I think the time there's a deadline that they're getting to. So they're trying to push this along. I don't know. This is maybe my problem with some of the cycling media. I read Phil Guyman's book. And this is also why I
was going to ask, who are you mad at, Tyler? Who are you mad at?
I don't want to get into this one.
We never have to change this part of the show.
All right. We're done with that.
No. Go back. I'm really curious to hear.
Well, I was going to say, so if you're a cycling journalist, and I bet I could go and ask these guys some questions, like some specific questions. Who's Mr. What was Bjarne Riis's nickname? Okay, that's one. Okay.
So it was like the Mr. It's talking about hematocrit, right?
Yeah. What is it?
I don't know.
It's Mr. 60.
Okay.
So in Phil's book, he says Mr. 58. And when I see that, I go, oh, that's wrong. And you can easily Google that. Let me back up and start taking a look at this. And then he talks about the 2014 Tour of Utah and about his conversation with Andy Schleck. Andy Schleck retired that year after the Tour de France, so he didn't do that race. Well, maybe we meant Frank. Frank didn't do that race. If you're a cycling journalist and you read those things, you're going to know in your head these are not correct. Now you're going to start questioning everything in that book. And you're going to realize that
that's just like a whole.
You're going to realize there's a lot of bullshit. But these are the same guys that aren't able to report properly on Froome case or any other ones, or the ones you're depending on for these kind of things. Yeah. So that's my problem. Huh. And there's So
you read his book. You read a second book.
I read a second book. Yeah.
That's interesting.
He owns the Kindle and the paperback.
And the paperback, and you hated it so much.
The audiobook as soon as it comes out.
Sadly, it was a well-written, entertaining book, but it needs to be thought of as like a novel or like a history novel. Historical novel. You can't take it as factual.
Favorite sports
you can't take history
book.
as factual ever.
All right. Well, okay. So we digressed horribly on this one, but that's my problem with the
history is
Phil
fake.
Gate.
That's all we got. But anyways, no, I agree. So I read the book. Yeah,
the second one.
Yeah, his second one and the first one.
Yeah, me too.
It came to a point with the first one, where I was just really like trying to get into up to the elite level and just was really fascinated by the domestic cycling scene, and I still am. And I remember, coming up through. So my first year cycling was like 2012, and if you think of that, that's about like a watershed year. And cycling after that, like it just starts going to shit. Like teams fold, and then they fold again, and they get smaller and smaller. But I remember as like a Cat 5 watching these races, just being so fascinated by these teams. There's smaller pro teams or whatever. And just think, oh, that's cool. That's like life. They're living it. And so his book was I just loved it reading, about being on Jelly Belly in like 2009, 2010, and then, about being on Kenda and all these other crap teams at the time. And then I begrudgingly bought the second book, used on Amazon. It doesn't matter. You're not getting sponsored by Gaiman, that's for sure.
Or Kenda at this point.
Well, he didn't like them either. So.
Yeah, but anyways, it's like I'm not gonna go into his writing or whatever, but I felt like there was a lack of no one else is writing about anything at that time in terms of cycling.
Yeah, sure.
So you talk this podcast is a great example. Like you and I both talked about Creed's podcast and how that was great. And then Gaiman has his podcast now, and I'm just gonna come out and say I'm not really a big fan of it because it just seems like he needs to work on his interviewing skills. It's like very forced. Well, not even that, but I mean, like I'm sure we can nitpick about anything, but like Creed's podcast, like I was revisiting those on a long drive a couple weeks ago, and his weren't even podcasts; they were just drunken conversations, with other people, the people he had access to. He had
to listen to this one when we get it out.
Chris Carmichael. He had all these people like McCarty and all these guys who were just, he was in the fray, and he wasn't talking about like what were your decisions for training this year. He was like, "Yo, do you remember that time we went to this brothel in Belgium?" So I think he talked about specifically not going to them, but anyways. What I'm getting at is that there was such a lack of any sort of writing or any good journalism from the domestic scene at that time that, Gaiman just really found an audience with everyone who was just enthralled with American cycling, U.S. cycling, domestic writing, Redlands, and all these things like that. So I think that his writing fit, fill the need for that sense, but...
We talked about this at one point where I described, you work in an office and that he or she down the hall looks really hot. But when you compare them to compare them to the real world out in with anybody else, they're not. They're work hot.
You said it was E-Trade hot.
E-Trade hot. When I worked for E-Trade, we're not sponsored by that either. And the problem, I think that's with Phil. You're exactly what you're describing. You're hungry for a book about cycling, and you'll take almost anything. And next thing you know, you go out with the work hottie that you're embarrassed by later.
We've never been working for the state, that's for sure. Chris and I can talk to you about that one. No, getting off that subject.
Just lost that sponsorship.
David Miller's book. I haven't read the second one, but have you read the first one?
No, I have not.
It's a great book. Read it.
Which one? What's it called?
It's called like Riding Through Dark. Oh, jeez.
The one where he was with Cofidis and got nabbed.
Right, but he was talking. It was just his journey. Essentially from start till Garmin, and then this last book he wrote was his second year or his last year of riding. Just kind of chronicled the whole season. But he's a great writer because I think purely because he's honest, and you can see that in his writing. And I don't know him, and I can't fact check a lot of his stories. But you can just feel the book starts out with his talking about being in a prison for them finding him for doping stuff. They found syringes in his home. And there was a doping raid or whatever, and it's just kind of talking like that. And you could tell this book was just like cathartic for him to kind of get that out there and talk about his journey. But that was great writing, and there's so much other great cycling writing out there, but unfortunately I just didn't feel like there was a lot that coming from the American scene, because it's a lot to ask from someone who's making, like you said, $100 a day or whatever, to write a book about it too. Like they're probably just trying to find a nice contract or get a job somewhere, and they're not going to write a book about scrapping the domestic scene.
No, and you're right. So when you're in that situation, be far from me to expect him to write something accurate or do his own research.
Do his own.
Anyway,
selective memory.
That's enough of it. Anything else for you guys?
So Schleck really wasn't in the Tour 2014 you
No.
Neither Schleck brother was.
No, neither one were in there, and and it goes on. And the book is.
So remember that they were like talking to him in the elevator or something.
No, they're on the climb. It's one where Danielson wins the stage, and they're pulling for Danielson, and he says Andy Schleck comes up to him and says, "Hey, stop! Don't go so fast on the descents." And Alex Howes looks at him basically and says, "Go home." And then crosses the finish line, comes down, and smiles at Andy Schleck.
Was it were either from Colorado or Utah?
But they were talking about the Tour of Utah the day. Very specific about whatever. He wrote the book.
Wow.
Well,
just throw your nose out the window.
Hey, if you don't want people to call you out, maybe you fact check something.
No, that's great. I'm glad that gives a whole new spin to it. And
there's so much more, though.
There is. The whole thing about like the Consolara thing, it was weird because he was adamant that it was a rumor, that it wasn't true. It just
that was strange.
It was strange because he was so adamant about it, but the thing that he was adamant about was that it was a rumor. And it was just really weird. That was why it didn't seem like something that was worth fighting for, and it just felt like that was kind of giving him airtime.
No, Thomas Dekker sent him a text. I didn't want to get it.
I don't know. There's a lot of things I could say about the guy, and there's a lot of things I don't care to bash him that much. I don't think he's a great podcaster.
My point was not about build your media empire, do what you're doing, have fun, enjoy it.
How's that going for you, by the way?
I have a different job.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why he calls this a studio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Speaking of which, we should probably close it down at this point. So thank you, Andrew, for coming in.
Thank you
talking all things Mike's Bikes.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
And your coffee, Equator coffee.
Equator coffee, yes.
Is it good?
It's very good. You're a coffee guy too.
I am. So I'll have to try that.
I'll bring you a bag.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
See, we're always looking for bags.
I don't think they'll sponsor
kind of like coffee too.
No, not after what I said today.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming by. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best, of course, and we'll keep up with you and your actions and your exploits. Chris, anything else from you before we
I've
head
got
on?
nothing. Good luck. I hope you guys take the Grasshopper Series.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm sure it'll be a good run.
Yeah, enough with the gravel grinding.
Yeah.
And thank you for not leaving mid sentence here, Chris, while I rambled on about Phil Guyman. I know.
I considered stepping out.
He did put his shoes on.
Kurt, anything from you?
No, I hope to see you soon. But it's
Andrew.
good to see you here. And yeah, Andrew, I hope to see you soon. Got a lot of window work to do. No, I hope I'm looking forward to watching you this season, especially at Cascade and Redlands and the big races, which it seems like you always target and you always kind of rise to. So it'll be cool.
Thanks. Well,
So-
appreciate it for having me on, and likewise, I look forward to seeing you guys out there and seeing you guys tear it up.
Yeah, we do our best. So appreciate you coming in. Once again, this is maybe the most rambling episode we've ever had, and that's saying a lot, okay?
We started on point.
No, but I mean, in a good way. This is very entertaining, I'm sure. We'll be
Okay.
loving it.
I'll unplug my mic.
And he's out. So thanks for joining us. Tune into Facebook. We've got a Facebook channel. You can join the conversation there. And everybody, thank you.